Welcome back to my Kingdom Come, Deliverance to playthrough. Last time, in which we stole the Kuttenberg Brotherhood sword and displayed at the town hall to force a dueling challenge. Help escort bath maids and open up a new bathhouse. So let's get into today's stream and action.
Same to you.
The best wares on the market. Come and take a look. Quality goods, the finest wares.
And we also competed in the dueling competition and won it.
I know well enough what you did here.
A fine day for some fine wares.
Just a few days walk from here.
Let's see what we can do today.
Don't think I don't know who you are.
So, let's see what we have here. My God! Someone really did a number on her. Oh, they ripped open her entire belly. And they didn't stop there. There must have been buckets of blood. Anyway, what else do we have? Her lips are bloody, but nothing more. Tongue's still in place. But if he killed her for blabbing, I reckon he'd have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? These are more like chops than cuts. Somebody must have taken a sword to her. Knife wounds would be smaller, and an axe would have made a bigger mess. But it couldn't have been a long sword. That would have been clumsy. It was something shorter and nimbler. God, that madman cut off both her breasts and bits of flesh. But what did he do with it all afterwards? Did he really keep all the pieces? Nobody could be that sick, could they? Her face is a little bruised and cut, but nobody cut her there. But she has a dark ring around her neck. Was she strangled? The murderer must have had pretty strong hands, and her hair is all matted with blood and hacked off. I don't even know what colour it was. Maybe there's something more to it. What if the murderer kept her hair like some kind of sick trophy? Just some scratches and bruises, that's all. The killer probably surprised her. She didn't even have time to defend herself.
You have been more careful.
So, the murderer must have awfully strong hands, because he strangled her and left a dark ring around her neck. Then he took a short sword or saber and started hacking at her. She's missing parts of her torso, but they aren't by the body. He also cut off most of her hair. He cut off her breasts, but left her tongue, then left her lying there for all to see. To send a message, maybe? Or a warning? Only if it was a warning for telltales, he would have cut out her tongue or something, wouldn't he? I don't know why he killed her, but I don't think it's because of Catherine.
Good day. What would you like?
You must be the local gravedigger.
That's right. They call me František. At least them that can speak do. Ha!
They too will fall silent someday.
True that. What can I do for you?
That dead girl you have in the morgue, Alice.
You've seen her? Poor thing. Who could have done such a thing?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find out. Do you know anything about her?
She's gone to meet her maker. What more do you want to know? You want to take away a piece of her? Well, you can't. Not a hair off her head, a bloody scrap of cloth, or a thumb. You hear?
I don't want to take anything. I need to find something out.
Like what exactly?
Who killed her?
Why?
I'm in service of the Lords of Lipa. I'm to find out who was responsible for this murder.
What do the Lords of Lipa care about a dead girl?
Truth be told, not much. But it's at the request of her master.
Ah, that makes more sense. At least someone is trying to sort this out. The others weren't so lucky. It's true that Lumiere ain't shown no interest in her yet. I wouldn't expect that from him no more.
Who's this Lumiere? Another one of those gawkers and collectors?
No. He actually tried to help.
Help? How?
Well, he was investigating them others.
Right. You said she wasn't the first.
Aye. We had a couple of similar cases. Lumiere said they was all killed by the same murderer.
And who is this Lumiere?
He used to work for the local bailiff. I think he knew the first one what was killed, but that was a long time ago.
What's this Lumiere got to do with this?
Well, like I told you, he used to work for the bailiff. I think he was a scribe.
A scribe keeps records in the Black Chronicle, though I've never heard of one doing his own investigations.
Well, the old bailiff wasn't all that interested in the common folk, but Lumiere, he was quite helpful. Folk heard about it and went to him with whatever was troubling them.
I'd like to speak with Lumiere. Do you know where I can find him?
At his home in Bohemia Street, that's near the church. You won't find him at the bailiff's no more. I don't know exactly why, though. Seems he had some quarrel with the bailiff.
Do you remember how many girls were killed?
You mean you don't know nothing about it? Here, even the sparrows are squawking about it.
I haven't been in Kuttenberg very long.
I see. There's been one every few weeks for the past year.
Do you know where the last one got killed?
I heard some talk about it when they brought her here. But what do you want to do there?
Look for clues. Footprints, blood, anything.
That can help you.
That's worth a try.
I heard she was killed by the town walls, close to the Hole in the Wall, a dodgy tavern in the Hoprink neighborhood.
Thanks. Thanks. You've been a big help.
It's my pleasure, especially helping someone from the land of the living again. Actually, wait a mo. Speaking of the living, there's a girl what comes here and grieves over that dead maid. I think her name is Barbara.
And do you know where I could find her?
She said she serves in one of the burgers' houses. So either there or in the morgue with that poor dead girl.
Thanks again, Master Gravedigger.
Farewell.
Are you Barbara? I'm told you knew Alice.
Alice. Aye, she was almost like a sister to me. We served together for years, in the same house. Why'd you ask? Who are you?
I'm trying to find out who did this to her. I'm afraid the killer might want to go after my friend as well.
Ah, I understand.
Who did you serve?
Our master is a local merchant. He is trying his hand at trading wine.
How did Alice get along with your master?
Fine. Just like with everyone. Our master is a bit strict, but he's fair.
What's his name? Can I speak to him?
Why? But you can't see him anyway. He's on a trade trip to Prague.
It occurred to me that maybe he could have done it.
He couldn't. He was gone when it happened. He hadn't been home in several weeks. And besides, why would he kill them others too? He never even knew them.
I heard about that. And also about Lumiere.
Well, if you're interested, go and see him. Maybe you'll catch him sober enough to talk sense.
Do you know of any suitors she might have had?
I know she was seeing someone. Why?
I'd like to talk to him as well.
But I don't know who it was. Alice said he was rich and dressed nicely. But she promised him she'd never tell anyone his name.
And you never saw him?
No, never. I don't even know where she met with him.
Do you know what exactly happened to Alice?
No. Nobody saw or heard nothing. One day, she just didn't come home. And then, they found her. Like this.
It's awful what they did to her.
She was such a pretty girl. And that beautiful brown hair of hers. And it didn't even leave that untouched. Who could have cut off her hair like that? And why? None of it makes sense.
So, I'll leave you to mourn in peace now.
The Lord sees you.
Lumiere?
Oh. Christ, my head. Not so loud.
I need to ask you something.
I said not so loud. I have a splitting headache.
That's some hangover. He's useless to me like this. Unless I'm willing to wait for him to sleep it off, I'll have to get him some kind of cure or potion. This should sober him up. No, not that. This should sober him up. Here. Drink up. Better?
What? Who? What are you doing here? Who are you?
My name is Henry.
And what do you want from me?
I'm trying to find out who killed a certain girl. And I was sent to you.
To me? What for?
Are you Lumiere from the Rat House? The scribe?
I used to be. Now I'm just Lumiere the madman.
Well, you don't look crazy.
Yeah. But I am. I see things in my head that aren't real. And then I point my finger at the wrong people. I'm the biggest madman in Kuttenberg.
But I need your help.
If I were you, lad, I'd leave it be. You can't help that girl anymore, anyway. You'll just end up hurting yourself.
Come now, Lumiere.
Poor girls. Nobody was all that interested in it, except for me. We let it be in the end. We let a monster walk among us. No way. You can't solve this yourself.
I need to know the truth. To find the one responsible.
I appreciate your enthusiasm, lad. But it's no use. I searched high and low. And what did I get out of it? Just mockery. What makes you think you can find out more than I did?
Because I'm stubborn. And I don't have any other choice. I'll get to the truth no matter what.
You think that will suffice?
If not, I'd have been dead long ago. Bled out from a human arrow.
All right. Talk to me. Who was this dead girl?
Her name was Alice. She worked as a maid.
A maid? That fits. Yarka was a maid too. As were most of the other victims. What did she look like? What did he do to her?
I think that he strangled her first, and then went at her with a longer blade and disemboweled her.
Did you notice the strangulation right away? It took me a while. Maybe you really will track him down.
Do you think it's the same murder?
Counting your girl, that makes 6 victims who were first strangled and then mutilated. If it's not all the same person, they must be collaborating somehow.
This is the 6th one. How long has he been killing?
Probably about a year now. Sometimes it takes him months, sometimes weeks. But I'm including missing girls. Stanya and Zdena.
Did the dead girls have anything in common?
Aside from being pretty young girls with no proper family or background, no. I couldn't find much.
Do you think somebody is killing them because they're poor and nobody will miss them?
Certainly. If somebody killed the daughter of a local lord, no stone would be left unturned.
But why does he even kill in the first place?
I don't know. Maybe he hates women. Damn it. I feel like I'm going in circles and can't get out.
What can you tell me about Yarka?
She wasn't the first. But thanks to her, people started taking an interest. She was a maid in a German family. By all accounts, she was a pious, polite girl. She was orphaned as a child. The priest from the church of St. Peter and Paul, Father Prokop, raised her. They found her body tossed behind a barn at the edge of town. She was cut all the way from her neck downwards. An awful sight to behold.
Did you have any suspects?
At first, I thought the son from that family did it. The murderer is usually someone close, you know. But then I changed my mind.
Why?
Well, for one, I remembered the 2 girls before her who ended up almost the same. Besides that, when I talked to the lad, he seemed he wasn't the least bit interested in Yarka. Then his mother told me that they threw her out a week before the murder because she was a harlot who stayed out till all hours of the night. That really surprised me, because Father Prokop had vouched for her good reputation. But who knows? Maybe he just didn't want to admit what had become of her.
What about Stanya?
She was an alehouse wench in a tavern of ill repute called the Hole in the Wall.
You said her body was never found. Maybe she just got out of town.
You have no idea how much I'd like to believe that. Only there was a lot of blood. Unfortunately, the investigation wasn't very successful. The Hole is a world of its own, and the people there aren't very forthcoming with information.
Did you suspect anybody?
You could suspect every second man there. Those people have nothing but thievery and deceit in their eyes. The innkeeper, Mole, definitely knew Stanya, since she worked for him. But he isn't all that chatty either.
So if I want to learn anything more, I have to ask this mole in the hole.
Yeah, he still runs the place.
And what about that Zdena? You said her body was never found.
Exactly. But to tell the truth, nobody spent much time looking for it. Besides Alice, Zdena was the most recent victim. It's only been a few weeks since she went missing, but I suppose nobody wanted to do any more digging.
But if her body was never found, how do you know she was killed?
Because she was the same type as the other girls. Maybe the prettiest of them all. Young, beautiful. A real live one. Lively as the devil. She was a thief. A pickpocket. I never could pin it on her, though. She always found some way to get out of it.
Maybe she robbed the wrong people and had to get out of town.
Maybe. She had a partner in crime by the name of Strunad. Quite a number. He's always sitting in the hole, boozing. When I asked him about Zdena, he told me he'd rather rip his own tongue out than talk.
Do you think he'd be more forthcoming with me?
He might be. You're not known all over town like a catchpole. It's worth a try. Besides, it might still be fresh in his memory. That would be a great help.
And what about the other two victims?
It all started with them, though nobody did much about it at the time. The first one worked as a bathhouse maid. They called her Chestnut. She'd only been in town for a short while, and nobody really knew her. So I couldn't find out anything more. But the other one, Libushka, she was from Loretz. She was a maidservant, too. I also talked to her mother. She said she was really cheerful and outgoing. There were lots of suitors circling around her, but she refused them all. She knew she was pretty, and knew she could do better than some farmhand.
You mean she wanted someone higher up?
That's what it sounded like. But her mother never found out who she had her eye on.
Interesting. I'll try to see what else I can find out from the mother. Where can I find her?
In the graveyard, lad. The poor woman died of grief. It's sad to say, but we can't help those two dead girls now. And they can't help us with our investigation either. There's nobody else left who could tell us anything about them.
Why were you looking into it? Who were those dead girls to you?
I don't know what people told you about me, but for many long years I was a scribe for Kuttenberg's bailiff. Kuttenberg is a big city with a lot of people. Silver, silver, silver. Mining it, smelting it, stealing it. There's always something going on. The bailiff was always running from hell to Hades, from one rich man to another, settling their quarrels. Often trivial nonsense.
But there are more than just rich burghers and lords in the city.
Exactly. There are common folk, too. There's a lot more of them, and their troubles are usually more serious. So when one of them came to the bailiff's one time, and the bailiff was running around somewhere, I started to deal with it myself. I was pretty good at it, too.
Behind the bailiff's back?
Not really. Andreas supported my activities until recently.
What happened?
I don't want to talk about it. Sorry.
Did you have any suspects back then?
You can always find some suspect. I always dragged the most suspicious ones to the body in the morgue by force. And they threw up at the sight. Or fainted.
Couldn't it have just been an act?
Fainting? Vomiting? That's hard to act. I'd swear none of them did it.
Can you sum it all up for me?
We have 6 victims here. And I believe they were all murdered by the same killer. Unfortunately, we only know a little about the last 4. The most recent ones. By now, we won't learn anything about the first 2. Of the remaining 4, the first to be killed was the maidservant, Yarka. She was raised by Father Prokop from the Church of St. Peter and Paul. He should know the most about her. The next were Stanya and Zdena. Their bodies weren't found, but we assume they also became victims of the same murderer. They both hung around a tavern they called the Hole in the Wall. Stanya was an alehouse maid, and Zdena a pickpocket. And the last victim is Alice now. Also a maid. What they all have in common is that they were young, beautiful, and brunette.
Good. I know everything I need to know.
When you learn something more, stop by and see me. You've aroused a bit of hope in me, lad. I hope you won't disappoint me.
So that... thing with your aunt. Did you make up?
Not a chance. I'd sooner see hell freeze over. I'll be keeping my eye on you.
Good day. What do you need?
Father, I need to ask you a few questions.
I don't have time for theological discussions, my son.
That's not why I'm here. My name's Henry, and I wanted to ask about the murder that happened recently. Someone killed and gutted a young maidservant and left her body lying by the city walls. And I hear it's not the first time this has happened.
Another one murdered. May the Lord grant her eternal rest. Why is it you ask?
I fear for my sister. She's also a maid.
Yes. Fear for those close to you is commendable. What would you like to hear?
One of the other victims was a girl named Yarka. But I reckon you know that, don't you? What can you tell me about her?
About Yarka. She was an ordinary girl. She served the von Groll family.
Where did you know Yarka from?
I knew her since she was a little girl. Knew her family.
And?
I was her uncle. When my brother and his wife died, I took care of her.
Who do you think killed her?
William, that pig of Satan. He gambles in the tavern on All Saints' Day and leads the locals astray. Yarka always went there to listen to music.
Why do you think it was William? Do you have any evidence?
Evidence? He's a skirt chaser, a tool of Satan. He messes with poor girls' heads.
And does anyone else come to mind? No other man spoke with her?
No, absolutely not.
You raised her? A priest with a child?
Yes. Unfortunately, I'm not the first of the clergy to have a child on the side. But at least everyone knew Yarka wasn't my own daughter.
What does a priest know about children?
Yes. And what does a yokel know about decency? A true mystery.
How does that even work? Did you have her with you at the presbytery?
When she was small, I could. But when she grew up, she had to go. It wouldn't look right.
Why don't you respect Lumiere?
That's my business. You needn't concern yourself about that. I won't tell you anything.
Come on, this is a really important matter. You can trust me.
That's just what a person I shouldn't trust would say.
I've heard enough, Father. I'll be going.
Son, I'll give you some good advice. Don't listen to Lumiere. That man has gone completely mad.
God be with you, my friend.
I would like to atone for my sins before God, Father.
I'm tempted to banish you from the holy ground, blasphemous child. Your repentance must begin as soon as possible.
I'll cleanse my soul with a pilgrimage.
Behind Old Lahota, by the streamside, a conciliation cross commemorates the tragic end of an honorable duel between two knights. Pray for their memory and regain your Christian honor.
What penance do you give me?
Recite the Lord's Prayer. Clasp your palms together with all your strength and ask God for forgiveness.
I'll make haste.
You can't hasten redemption.
Till we meet again.
Take a look. Quality goods here.
So you can avoid danger.
I'm doing the best I can.
He always comes on time.
Sweet Virgin
Apples!
Delicious pears. Juicy pears.
Quit your gaping.
The Lord be with you. What do you need?
Show me your wares.
There'll be none of that. You're branded.
No, just an ordinary white one. But it had everything. Your hair, eyes, mouth. It was the spitting image of you. It must be a sign.
I apologize.
What are you doing, wandering about without a light like a thief? Get a torch, or I'll take you in. That's more like. Now on your way.
What are you doing here? Hasn't been safe around here, hasn't Oh, what? Are you gonna
If you're gonna yell at each other, do it somewhere else.
You go run into the
Brings you here so late, my friend?
Is it normal for a skeleton to sit at the table in this tavern?
Hugo? He's the most loyal regular.
He's been sitting here with us for a couple of years. He doesn't talk much, but he's fun. Ask the innkeeper about him. Take care and have a good night.
What would you like?
Did a Stanya work here?
Stanya? Maybe. It depends on who's asking.
My name's Henry.
Names don't interest me. The main thing is whether it's a good guest or a bad guest asking. What kind of guest are you, Henry?
I'm a good guest.
Really? Let's see. Do you know how to recognize a good guest?
Depends if they're loyal to your tavern and come often.
Trust is all important. I'm plenty happy to talk to folks what faithfully hand their groschen over to me. So, what'll it be, my good man?
What if I simply paid you and you tell me what I want to know?
Ask away.
I want to know if Stanya worked here.
She did. And she don't know more. What's it to you?
I heard she disappeared without a trace. So I'm trying to find out if anyone had anything to do with it.
It's possible. The chamber she was sleeping in here was totally ransacked. The door open. Everything emptied out. And Stanya was gone. All I found were bloody footprints.
How did Stanya's room look?
The door was wide open. Most of her things were gone, but some remained. And there was blood all over the place.
Blood? Was there a lot?
Not so much, really. More like hand or footprints. But they were near everywhere. If someone done her in, they definitely didn't do it in that chamber.
Tell me something else.
First, you'll have another beer. Or is it time to pay?
What?
If you want to ask, you have to drink. Didn't you get that?
You're quite the extortionist.
I prefer to be called an enterprising man of trade. So, what'll it be?
I don't want to pay you any more. I think you could answer my questions directly and not always try to wheedle money out of me. That makes it look like you might have some motive for keeping me from finding out anything about that murder.
Nonsense. How could you think that? Come on. Ask me anything you want.
Did anybody see what actually happened when Stanya disappeared?
No, it was at night. Nobody saw or heard anything. The tavern tends to be empty at that hour. And you won't meet many people on the street, neither.
What was Stanya like? What can you tell me about her?
A bold woman. One has to be here. Everyone's ballsy here unless you nib it in the bud right away. She was hanging around a bard for a while. I don't know how close they were, but she also had another suitor.
Someone from the city?
No, a charcoal burner. I heard he was from somewhere in the, Verchlitz Valley. I think his name was Barton?
What do you know about that bard?
What about him? He's a minstrel, a skirt chaser. What more can I say? He called himself William. As far as I know, he plays in the Miners' Tavern in the evenings. But sometimes he shows up here, too.
You think he might have been the one who...
Now that you mention it, he cleared out of town for a while and only came back not long ago. It could be him, all right. I know he met with some odd people and talked about God knows what, like bloody spies. Besides, you know what minstrels are like. Lasses just flock to them. And like they say, opportunity makes the thief.
Or in this case, the murderer. Apart from those men, did anyone else know Stanya? I mean, more intimately.
Well, I've got bad news for you. She had two close friends, but you won't get much out of either of them.
Why?
One was hit by a cart, even before Stanya disappeared. And she died. And the other one got married and moved away.
Where can I find this Barton?
I already told you. In the Verchlitz Valley.
Could you be a bit more precise?
I don't know that bloke at all. All I know is he's a charcoal burner. So if I was you, I'd look somewhere around the charcoal kilns.
That's all I need to know.
Huh?
Are you Sternad? The one that went with Zdenna?
Who the fuck are you?
Just an ordinary bloke who has some questions.
Well then, piss off. You won't get any answers here. All you're gonna get here is a kick in the teeth.
Oh, come on. We're not gonna fight each other, are we?
Just my luck. Damn it. I was in the mood to kick someone's ass.
So, can we make a deal?
You got it burned into you. You're one of us. So fucking ask away.
I'm looking for Zdenna. Do you know where I can find her?
If I knew, I'd... Well, fuck it. I don't wish no ill will, but that bitch can go to hell.
What happened? Did she cheat you?
Fucking aye. You could say that. She got a good score, but she didn't share. Didn't even buy a bloody round. Just took her things and fucked off.
Aye, that wasn't very nice of her. I mean, do you have any idea where she went or anything?
Well, she had to go somewhere to sell the loot, and the only place for that is Rabstein. There's a mill downriver from the town. Some bloke called Pint buys stuff there.
That's useful enough. And if I happen to pass by and there's some silver burning a hole in my purse?
You tell him King John himself sent you, and he'll know.
Thanks then. Next time I'll buy something to quench your thirst. What else can you tell me about her? Was she good?
Too good. When she really wanted, she could play a right doll. Around her, men stopped paying attention to anything.
And did it come back to bite her in the end?
Well, that's what I was here for. Whoever had a problem came to see me, and usually changed his mind. But don't worry. She was pretty handy with a knife herself. She had this trick. Run a knife over your hand and you'd drop everything you had in it.
So you don't think she'd let herself get ambushed too easily?
Hard to say. It could have surprised her, but if she did see them, I reckon she left some marks on them too.
Do you know what she managed to steal?
A couple of purses, but mostly some jewels. And not just silver and that, she even had some nice gold pieces there. Sacra. She had all the fucking saints on her side. There was one signet ring, solid gold and a red stone. Must be worth a bundle.
Do you know whose it was? Did you recognize the crest?
Some stinking rich fellas, innit? I couldn't give a shit about their crests.
And did you ever see her with any men, by chance? She could have run away with one of them.
I saw her with so many buggers, it'd make you shit yourself. But it weren't never all that serious. Except...
Except what? There was someone serious.
Not really. She kinda hung out with that Bard William, what used to play here. And I ain't all that fucking sure whether she wanted to fleece him or not.
Can you think of anything else?
You know what? Aye. Once some Salvation peddler came round. Prokop, I think his name was, and wanted to take her away. Said he had work for her, only she told the priest he could stick it up his arse.
And what about that bard? Couldn't she have left with him?
No way she'd take off with that fucker. He liked to act like he was full of mystery. Full of shit, more like.
So you don't think she ran off with him and then he killed her somewhere?
Well, they both disappeared around the same time. And he could manage to kill a wench, at best. But he was always just full of shit. But you're right, maybe there's something to it. Next time he comes here, I'll give him a thrashing. Or maybe I'll go to that miner's tavern he's hiding in now.
And what about this Father Prokop?
What about him? I ain't seen that bastard since then.
You don't think he could have taken Zdenna away?
Zdenna? Not a chance. She would have had him for dinner.
That's enough for me. Who brought it all in here?
can't be here. Next time, you don't come in here without permission.
I got lost in the tunnels. Glad I'm out now.
What do you want here?
It's William, right? I need to talk to you.
What is it? Do we know each other? Do I owe you money?
My name's Henry, and no, we don't know each other, and you don't owe me money. But we do have something in common. We have a lot of mutual friends.
What? What do you want of me? I don't have to talk to you.
You don't need to. I can go and chat with the guards instead. Tell them you're the one hurting those girls.
What? I don't have anything to do with any girls.
Seriously? Everybody knows about you.
That's not possible. I just came to town.
What?
Look, if you think you're going to pin something on me, you're out of luck. Leave me alone. Praise the Lord.
Greetings to you.
Jesus Christ be praised.
Same to you.
What are you poking around here for?
What are you doing here? It hasn't been safe around here as of late.
Huh? What's that?
barging in here? Huh? Could have been a draft.
Looks like I have to go outside the city.
Quick! Car! Car! Quick! Car! Go! Quick! Quick! Whoa!
need to ask you something.
I don't have time for that. Ask the foreman. You'll find him around here somewhere.
Are you the foreman? I was told to speak to you.
If you're here for charcoal, you'll have to wait.
I'm not here about charcoal. I'm looking for Stanya, an alehouse maid from Kuttenberg.
Aha. And why are you looking here?
I heard she was consorting with some charcoal burner here.
Well, I don't know nothing about that. Who goes with who?
I'm sorry.
I'm looking for someone named Stanya.
You're in a charcoal camp, fella. What would a woman be doing here?
But you know Stanya, don't you?
Aye. You could say that. Why?
I'm looking for the killer of a girl in town. And I heard that someone also tried to kill this Stanya.
That's true. She told me something like that. But that was a long time ago.
So you don't know what became of her?
I really don't know, mate. But even if I did know, how can I be sure you aren't that killer?
Lumir himself, the Kuttenberg bailiff's former scribe, gave me the task. He was looking into her disappearance, and he sent me to find her.
Well, I don't know. I remember Lumir. He was all right. That's all true, but...
But what? What are you still brooding over?
You seem like the right man for a job like that. Sorry, but after all that happened to Stanya, I like to be careful.
So Stanya is here?
Aye. She's hiding with us. Since that thing happened, she's afraid to even go outside. I don't know what to do with her anymore.
Can I speak to her?
If it'll help you. She's hiding in that cottage, but be nice to her. She's in a bad way. She used to be such a gutsy girl. Take care.
I'll be keeping my eye on you.
Who are you? How did you find me? If you came here to finish what you started, I'm not afraid of you. I'll claw your eyes out.
Don't be afraid. Barton told me where to find you.
Barton sent you to me. What do you want from me?
Lumir thought you were dead. I was supposed to find out what happened to you.
Lumir? From the rat house? He sent you?
Exactly. Someone killed a girl in Kuttenberg. Lumir thought it might be connected with you, so maybe you could help us find out who did it.
How can I help you when I haven't been in Kuttenberg since... I don't even know when.
You disappeared from the hole in the wall without saying goodbye. Without a word. What happened?
Someone attacked me when I was coming home from the baths one night. I managed to get away, but I was so afraid, I decided to run away from Kuttenberg.
Did you see who it was?
Not at all. I didn't see anything until he jumped out of the shadows and grabbed me around the neck. And he was terribly strong. I nearly blacked out right away.
And how did you manage to break free?
I had an empty pitcher in my hand, and I hit him with it. He howled and let me go, and I ran away.
Here? To the charcoal burners?
No, first to my room in the hole. I was so scared there. I took what I could and ran. Here, to Barton.
And your lover? What did he say?
At first he was horrified, because I had cut myself on a shard from the pitcher and was all bloody. He's been hiding me here since then.
You walked home from the baths at night?
What's so odd about that?
Well, at night, the baths are...
Ah, right. I went there after closing. I always brought the girls a pitcher of wine or ale and took a bath while they drank it.
Ah, So that's why you had the empty pitcher you hit him with?
Right. I went there regularly. Every week.
The same way every time?
Aye, always the same way. The shortest one. I didn't want to stay out too long at night.
And who knew that you went by yourself to the baths?
Well, everyone from the tavern, I reckon. I didn't hide it.
How are you now?
I'm still awful scared. I can't fall asleep knowing that, and I can't even really leave the house.
Do you remember anything important about the attacker? What he looked like? What he was wearing?
I don't know anything. It was at night. He grabbed me from behind, and then I ran and never turned back.
And what about when you hit him? What did he do?
He let me go and cursed.
Aha, and what did he say?
He said Scheisse in German.
Seems you're the only one to survive the killer's attack. I know it isn't easy for you to think about it, but try to remember something else about that moment, or when you were running away. Anything can help us, even if it seems insignificant.
I don't know. It's all like in a fog.
You were walking down the street. Did you notice anything before he attacked you?
No, nothing.
You didn't see anything or hear anything?
Actually, I knew the side street wasn't empty. I heard somebody talking, but when I looked, there was nobody there. So when somebody grabbed me, I completely froze.
Did you understand what they were talking about?
Not at all. But there were two voices. Two of them waiting for me there.
It's difficult, I understand. But I need you to think hard one more time. Aside from those voices and the empty street, what else do you remember?
I didn't hear him at all. And then he grabbed me.
And nothing else? Did he grab your hair?
Well, no. He grabbed me by the throat right away and squeezed. Just for a moment. But I still had a big bruise round my neck for weeks. Barton said the man must have had a terribly strong grip. Like a miner or swordsman.
Couldn't it have been Father Prokop?
Father Prokop? I don't know him.
No, he's pretty old. He preaches in the Church of St. Peter and St. Paul.
I don't know him. And if he's an old man, how strong could his grip really be?
I heard William liked pretending to be a spy. Do you know anything about that?
Aye, I thought it pretty silly. A stupid trick to make himself seem more interesting. Though I reckon he's more likely to attract an arse-kicking than a woman.
What was it like working in the hole?
Well, I earned a few groschen, that I did. But I often had to grit my teeth.
How so?
Every single day I had to put up with their lewd remarks. Rich or poor, everyone wants to grope a girl. People, well, us girls have to watch out. We can't just put up with it. And sometimes we have to be tough. Especially in a place like the Hole. But you can't overdo it either. That's no good.
How so?
Because if you smile at them nicely, then sometimes they leave a groschen, or even two. You have to keep a balance. To look friendly, but unavailable.
You said that rich or poor, they all like to grope girls. Like who?
Truth be told, the Hole isn't exactly a good place for a rich man. But young von Groll used to go there for a while.
Is that so? Did he talk to you?
He smiled at me a lot, so I smiled back. But beyond a few groschen, there was nothing more to it. Then this thieving wench started hanging around him and... Oh, it doesn't matter. But that servant of his didn't like it, tried to drive her away, and so the young lord stopped bringing him with him.
Von Groller had a servant with him?
Aye, a pudgy fella, well-dressed, but had a mean face. He never said a word or smiled, or even said thank you.
Couldn't it have been that innkeeper then? You yourself said he's a pig.
Aye, when he drinks, he turns into a total bastard. All lewd remarks and groping fingers. The lecher. Only when I got to my room, I could hear him snoring. It couldn't have been him.
Why didn't you go back to the Hole?
Just to get murdered there? Are you mad? I'm never going back there. Not until they catch him.
I reckon that'll be all.
I'm sorry I'm not able to help you more.
You don't need to apologise.
Thank you. Could I ask you for a favour?
If it's in my power.
When you catch that bastard, would you please let me know? So I can finally stop being afraid.
I'll stop by if I can.
Farewell, my friend.
Quick! Ka! Go! Ka! Go! Go! Ka! Go! Quick!
Whoa! My God, that was...
Quick! Ka! 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 Go! Quick! Ka! Ka! Go! Go! Ka! Ka! Go! Keep it up. Quick! Go! Quick!
You? What would you do then?
Unless they needed a
What?
scarecrow
You?
for their cat.
Nice
Get
try,
out.
you horse. I'm gonna stick you like the pig you are. What do you want? Ha!
I'm all yours. Take that! Show your stuff! See, you shit!
What do you want? Mercy! Spare me!
No mercy here.
Quick! Quick! Quick!
Well, good morning to you.
Are you Pine?
I am. Why?
I'm looking for his Denner.
I don't know any Stenner.
Stonard said something different.
You're a friend of Stonard's, are you?
God forbid. That's all I need. A friend like that bastard. But he was the only one who really knew Denner.
You're right there. Stenner was always cursing him. He was as lazy as a pig, but always wanted his share.
So you knew Denner? Can you tell me anything about her?
I know Stenner all right, but she ain't been here in some time. Why are you looking for her? What do you want from her?
I'm looking for a... Back in the city, they think she's either dead or run off somewhere. And you're the last person to see her before she went missing.
Whatever.
What can you tell me about Denner?
She always had it hard. She lost her parents and her home as a child. She had to learn to take care of herself.
And what about Stonard? How does he fit into this?
Stonard was her guardian angel, as she used to say. If she hadn't been thieving with him, she probably would have ended up a whore. But by sharing with him, she could do what she wanted.
Uh-huh. I'm surprised she stuck with him as long as she did.
That's because she had a hideout somewhere nearby. That's why she'd come to me with her loot, before they taxed her on the spot. And the last time she was here, she said one more haul like this, and she'll be able to go wherever she wanted. To Prague or Vienna.
I heard she wanted to sell you some valuables. Is that true?
Oh, aye. She had a good haul. No rubbish. Mostly jewelry, rings, one signet ring with a coat of arms and everything.
She left it all here. I paid her a pretty sum of coin. It was a good thing she had a basket with her. Otherwise, she couldn't have carried it all.
And what about that signet ring? Do you still have it?
She didn't sell me the ring. She wanted to keep it. Said it'd bring her luck someday.
Do you know what kind of luck she meant? Did you recognize the signet on the ring?
No, I didn't recognize that signet. But all the while, Dana was giggling to herself. I reckon she had her eye on another mark.
Where did she go next from here? You said she had a lot of coin on her.
That she did. She also had a feeling someone was following her. Someone on a horse.
Someone followed her on a horse from Kuttenberg. Did she say what he looked like?
She didn't. At first, she thought it was some wealthy lord out for a ride. But he held back. Never passed by her and...
And did you see him? Did he come all the way here?
No. But Stena thought he would show. She even left her scarf here and paid some girl to walk around with it to make it look like she was still here.
And then where'd she go?
She wanted to go the back way, through the woods, so nobody could follow her. Past the woods is a road and a ford across a stream. Next to it is a huge boulder. When it rains, the water can rise fast. The road goes on to Kuttenberg.
Well, if it leads back to the road and there was really someone following her, I reckon if they saw she was long in returning, they could have waited for her at the ford, no?
Fuck! That's quite possible. I made a point of looking, but I didn't see any riders that day, so I forgot about it.
Is Denna's scarf? Do you still have it?
Aye. I wanted to give it back to her the next time she came.
Will you give it to me? I'll try having my dog track her down.
All the same to me. Here you go. But it's been a long time. I don't know if it will help.
And could it have been Father Prokop following her?
What do I know? If he has a horse and fancy clothes. But why would he do it?
I heard he wanted to find her an honest job, but she wasn't interested.
I don't know. She didn't say nothing about that.
And could it have been William?
And who would that be?
He's this bard she was seeing.
I don't know about that. I don't remember her mentioning nobody by that name.
Well, I'll go and check out that fort. Maybe I'll find something there.
I hope you don't.
Farewell.
God, where is that dog?
Could have been a draft. I hope nothing's missing.
But why have you got to now? Whoa. God. Go! God! Whoa! There has to be that that ford Pike was talking about. I should take a look around here. This must be that basket of silver Zdena was carrying with her. She wouldn't have just left that here, but where did it come from? Maybe it rolled down the hill? Poor thing. She didn't get very far. Ugh, she's been lying here a long time. At first glance, this body isn't as mutilated as the others. Unfortunately, I can't tell if somebody strangled her like the others. She's been lying here too long for that, but her head is smashed in. Either the murderer hit her with a rock, or dashed her hard against the ground. She must have put up a fight. Or maybe he lost his patience. Oh, she's all stuck to her clothes. They're torn up, but I don't see any cuts. The rips are odd. Like someone was looking for something. Oh, I can't make much out by now, but it seems as if the fingers on her right hand are broken. Did the murderer torture her? Or was he trying to get something out of her hand? Oh, my God. Oh, something fell out of her. A signet ring. Oh, that must be the one she stole. How did it get inside her? Did she swallow it herself? Or did the murderer shove it in there? Was she trying to hide it? Or was it punishment for stealing? Well, that's enough. But what does it all mean? I'd say she put up a decent fight, and the killer had to improvise, and that's about all I can find out. She's probably been lying here a few weeks, but that ring is a good lead.
A fine day. Come and take a look. Quality.
Come here.
So I went to see
Come
my
here.
mother. And? To talk about the inheritance.
But your father's still alive, isn't he?
Aye.
Track.
But he drools all over himself. And he gets this feeling that his time is nearly up.
Does he get it often?
Careful.
Nearly all the time. And he's always ready.
Don't be shy. Quality goods here.
Take a gander. We've got it all.
Careful. Mugs for sale.
I didn't have time for a bath. But I'll go and have one now. I found out some interesting things about those murders. Just like you said.
That's wonderful news. But wait a while. I promised Catherine we'd wait for her.
You know Catherine?
She came to see me soon after you did, and started asking me questions. Just like you.
Will you send for her? So, we're all here.
I hope nobody else shows up. How did it go?
I reckon I've found out all I can.
And do you know who the murderer is?
Not exactly, but I have a few ideas.
I've asked around a bit, and I have my own suspicions.
Is that so? See, I was trying to recall some more details, and I had someone come to mind as well.
Oh, I didn't do all this for nothing, did I?
Well,
Well? Who do you suspect now?
Well, I'd say William did it. The minstrel.
You can't be serious. He's innocent.
Uh-huh. And who do you think it was?
Prokop. I'm sure of it.
No. Really? That's impossible. It couldn't have been him.
So I see we disagree. Too bad. We could have been done with it quickly.
Well, who do you think it was then?
I'm not entirely sure. First, I'll tell you what I found out, and then it might be easier for us.
Go on then. Starting with who?
Let's talk about Yarka, the one raised by Father Prokop.
What did you learn about her?
Prokop didn't just raise her out of the goodness of his heart. He was actually her uncle.
Really? But he still could have killed her.
His own relative?
Why not? He's a priest. I'm sure he knows the story of Cain and Abel.
Yarka started working for the von Grolle family, where she remained until her death.
I was there to ask whether she'd given them any trouble, but they said she was always thorough and reliable.
Ah, so what's the story with von Grolls?
A very wealthy and important family. The mother is quite devout, known to spend a lot of time in prayer. Old von Groller's been sick for years. Can't even get out of bed.
So, who runs affairs?
That would be young Hendel. They say he's quite successful.
That's all I was able to find out.
You still found out more than I did.
But it's not enough. We still don't know who the killer is.
I managed to find Stanya.
Alive? You found her alive?
I did. Alive and well. Hiding with the charcoal burners.
So, she's not one of our victims?
She is. She just managed to escape the killer. She said she was attacked on her way home from the baths. She heard somebody talking in a side street, but it was empty. But when she walked by, someone grabbed her by the throat and started strangling her.
And how did she manage to get away?
She was holding an empty pitcher, and she smashed the killer in the face with it. He either got startled or hurt, but he let her go.
Did she get a look at him? Did she take his eye out or something?
No, she didn't stop to find out. Just ran. Which is probably why she survived.
And what about the blood in the bedroom?
She cut her hand on the broken pitcher. She didn't stay in her room for long. She was still so scared that she grabbed her things and ran off to her beloved charcoal burner. She said she returned from the baths in the evening regularly, and somebody knew exactly which way she would take and where to wait for her.
You mean someone followed her beforehand to figure out where to ambush her?
Who knew that she went to the baths?
Apparently everyone in the tavern. She didn't hide the fact. Well, according to Stanya, the murderer had a terribly strong grip. Her neck was bruised for almost a month.
Doesn't almost every man have a strong grip?
Depending on what they take in hand every day. A tankard, a quill, or a hammer.
Except none of our suspects are miners or blacksmiths, eh? According to Stanya, the murderer didn't say a word the entire time.
That's strange, right? I'd expect him to at least call her a whore.
The only word he uttered was when she smashed him in the face with the pitcher. He said Scheisse.
So, we're looking for a German?
Even I say Scheiße sometimes, and I'm not German.
Besides that, she also recalled hearing two voices in the alley. Someone was talking to the killer.
So we have a witness. Now, just to find him.
Or an accomplice. If I remember correctly, the other one must have seen the whole thing, right? And he didn't go to report it.
I asked Stanya if she knew Prokop. She said no.
Maybe she just doesn't remember him. Or he gave a different name, or...
I don't think Father Prokop is the type to frequent the worst tavern in Kuttenberg.
Stanya admitted that she knows William. He flirted with her and tried to get to know her better, but nothing came of it.
And that's probably why I wanted to kill her. And likely rape her before that.
Well, perhaps, but Stanya doesn't think so. She's sure it wasn't William, and no matter what they say about him, in her eyes he's a good lad. She also said she was sure it wasn't Mole. He may be a pig, but the evening she ran home, he was in bed snoring. And that's all that Stanya told me.
I'm so glad that girl is alive.
Me too. At least someone's had a little luck. Does she want to come back, or will she stay with the charcoal burners?
I don't think she'll come back. She's so scared now they'll come back for her, she doesn't even leave the house. I managed to find Zdena.
You found her? Is she alive too?
No. Unfortunately, she's dead.
And where did you find her?
Pretty far away. Near the mill she used to sell things at. Someone caught her in the forest when she was coming home with a load of coin and killed her. I reckon she put up a hell of a fight. So the killer got nervous and ended things quickly.
So he didn't strangle or mutilate her?
She'd been lying in the woods for a long time, so I couldn't really tell. But he definitely didn't hack her up like the others. Judging by what her accomplice said, she robbed someone good. She had so much jewelry on her, she could hardly carry it. And what's odd is when she was murdered, the killer left her basket of valuables behind.
So I reckon he didn't kill her for the money.
She said someone followed her on horseback from Kuttenberg. She tried to lose him, but apparently wasn't able to.
On horseback? I don't suppose she described him, did she?
Only as a wealthy type who never got too close.
That doesn't fit in with the previous murders.
Father Prokop came looking for Zdena and nearly cursed her on the spot.
What did he have in common with a thief?
He had also looked after her, but unlike Yarka, she ended up on the street, and he took it badly. My mouth is starting to hurt from all this blabbering.
So are my ears and head.
Come now, we're nearly there. We just need to find our suspect. So, Henry, Who do you think did it?
I suspect one of the Von Grollers.
What leads you to think that?
Are you sure it wasn't William?
Zdenna was followed by someone on a horse. Von Groller could afford a horse.
That's not so sure, is it? And maybe the horse was stolen or borrowed.
But it certainly worsens the case for him. That much is true.
Alice had a young and wealthy suitor. And young Von Groller fits both descriptions.
True, true.
We could be getting somewhere.
Yarka was their maidservant until she started rebelling, right?
Yes. Do you think she was rebelling because of someone in particular?
Perhaps the young lord?
That's possible.
And that's all I can pin on him.
So, do we agree that it was young Von Groll?
Well, old Von Groller can't do much now, can he?
So do we really agree that our most likely suspect is young Von Groller?
Aye. I agree.
I don't have a problem with it. Little rich boys are capable of anything. But what are we gonna do about it? Our suspicions aren't enough.
They'll just laugh at us without something more tangible.
So, you want to search their house?
There's nothing else we can do. There must be a clever way to do it.
We have to find some evidence. None of our conjecture is enough. What will we do?
You could sneak in there.
Or break in.
Catherine, that's not necessary. The young lad wants to learn swordsmanship, and the old one is sick and always calling for a physician.
So I can either pretend to be a sawbones, or a swordsman, or break in? That's a lot of options.
You're a clever lad. You'll figure it out.
Let's just break in.
Are you afraid of water or what?
No, of course not. I was just on my way to the baths.
What's that dreadful scent?
Jules, that won't make you a fool. Now you'll learn that the church is rotten. Hear what Master Jan Hus of Prague teaches us. Priests wallow in gold.
Bar two.
Come and take a look. Quality goods.
Can I help you?
Is this the house of the Von Grolle family?
Yes?
I've come on account of old Von Grolle. I hear he's seriously ill, so I came to offer my services as a healer.
You aren't the first. Why do you think you might succeed?
I'm skilled in medicinal herbs and their healing effects.
Well, I don't know if I want to let some ordinary herbalist in to see the master.
Ordinary herbalist? I beg your pardon? What would apothecaries do without our herbs? How would they brew their decoctions? Monks in the oldest monasteries in Bohemia grow all kinds of medicinal plants.
That's true. I lived for quite some time in a monastery myself, and only the most experienced brothers took care of the herb garden there. My apologies. I shouldn't have doubted you.
That's all right. I expect you're concerned about your master's well-being.
Come inside. But before you begin your healing, speak to the mistress of the house. She can certainly tell you more about what ails the master. Take care.
I've come to treat your husband, ma'am.
Is that so? So Thaddeus has checked you out? Fine, then. Perhaps God will finally have mercy on Gotslin. You'll find him on the floor above, in the bedchamber to the left of the stairs. But I suppose you'll first want to learn a bit more about his illness?
Tell me all you know.
It's been a long time since Gotslin fell ill. At first, he just lost his strength and tired easily. Nobody thought it might be an illness yet. Not until the trembling came.
What trembling? Like with chills?
Not at all. At first, his hands started shaking. But over time, the shaking got worse. And he got it in his legs. And the stronger it was, the weaker my husband got. Nowadays, he can't even get out of bed. He can't talk properly either. So he spends most of his time alone. If he'd at least ask God for mercy. But that sinner is not even capable of that.
How long has he been ill, exactly?
It must be years now that he's been this bad. But his hands started to shake earlier than that. God only knows if it isn't from all that endless drinking of his.
You say he drank? Did he drink a lot?
Uncontrollably. But if only that was all.
What else? Did he eat too much meat?
Yes. Yes, a lot of meat.
But that's not all, is it?
That's none of your business. You came to treat him, not to hear his confession.
If I'm to treat him, then I have to know everything.
Fine, then. But if I ever hear that you told anyone, I'll have you clapped in the stocks and have your tongue pulled out. My husband's a heathen and an unbeliever who fornicated with every other maid and wench. He even stooped to those fallen women in the baths. Men are prone to that. I know all about that. Like father, like son. And I won't permit this demon seed to take my son too.
I'll cure your husband.
I don't know. In my opinion, you'll be wasting your effort with Gotslin. He's beyond help. It's natural and just that God punished him. But not even the greatest sinner deserves to suffer so long. So I hope you'll at least be able to relieve his pain.
What else is bothering him, besides the trembling?
I don't really like talking about it, but he can't defecate properly.
And how is his stool when he does defecate?
Check it yourself. You're the physician here.
What does he get to eat now? If he's constipated, that might have something to do with it.
The cook prepares his meals. You can ask her.
Do you have any idea what caused his illness?
Am I a physician? Find out yourself.
Well, you might have some idea. Was he injured in the past? Did he lead an unhealthy life? You'll know more about these things than me.
I don't know about any old injuries, but Gotslin never lived in moderation. He drank a lot, and he burdened his soul in other ways as well.
I'll go and take a look at him. I came to heal your master, and I'd like to know what you cook for him.
But of course, sir. Mostly light meat, poultry and fish, and then lots of vegetables. One Sawbones already told us what the old gent should eat, but he don't eat much anyways, so it don't make no sense. He told us to give him some wine sparingly, but my mistress banned it.
Which physician treated him? Do you recall?
Some gent called Albeek from Moravia, I heard. He came, looked at the master, and then just told us what to cook for him.
And why doesn't he eat?
How should I know? He don't say a word as the day is long. He used to be very fond of chasing women and boozing, true, but at least he was always merry. Now he's just a grouch. I ain't surprised he don't like his food.
Why did she forbid him to drink?
Master used to drink a lot, and Mistress weren't too pleased about it. She says drinking is a sin, and the devil's lure.
Thanks. That'll do me.
Farewell.
I'm a physician, and I've come to examine you, sir. Well, he really won't be telling me much, although it does seem he knows I'm here. Sir? Sir? If you can hear me, blink once. If not, blink twice. 1, 2. But if he can't... all right then. I won't torment you. At first glance, he's quite thin. I know he doesn't get around much, but this is too much. He's just skin and bones. But if he doesn't eat much, then it's no wonder. It's true. His arms and legs really are shaking. A lot. I've never seen this before. I've no idea what this could be. His wife said he suffered from constipation. I'd better take a look at it now. Where's his chamber pot? So, let's see what we have here. Well, that's not much, but his stool is fine otherwise. If he can't shit, the problem will be somewhere else. I won't find out anything more, and even if I can't cure him, at least I can bring him some relief. A decoction for the pain should alleviate that trembling. A digestive will help him with his constipation, at least for now. But he has to start eating more. I'm sure he's not eating because he's miserable here alone all the time. I'll try to cheer him up, though I doubt it'll be easy. And also I have a thunderstone. That could help him too. I'll give you a digestion decoction. That should help with your constipation. But you have to start eating again. Drink up. It'll help you. I'll give you a decoction for the pain. It should relieve your trembling, though I can't guarantee it. Here. Sip it slowly, so you don't choke on it. You know what? I know what you need. Something to drink. Here's some spirits. And don't worry, can't get any worse anyhow. And not a word to your wife. She'd have my hide.
Now, you.
Sure. I'd like to drink with you.
Good health.
And especially to yours. I'll come back to see you. I heard you didn't need to be asked twice in your day. Wine, women, and song. Am I right? I reckon you must really miss that. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing better than getting a skinful, eh?
Yes.
I knew it. I took one look at you and I said to myself, here lies a fellow who could teach me a thing or two. I bet that you know every tavern and every alehouse wench here in Kuttenberg. Your wife thinks this is all a punishment for the little pleasures that men deserve to indulge in. Right? What does she know about it? A bit of discomfort is a small price for some serious fun, right?
No. No.
But don't you worry. As soon as we get you fixed up, I bet you'll run off to the tavern to enjoy yourself again. Look. This is a genuine thunderstone. It can work miracles on people. I hope it'll help. We'll see. It definitely can't hurt. I'll come back to see you.
I'm going to try that again.
Look. This is a genuine thunderstone. It can work miracles on people. I hope it'll help. We'll see. It definitely can't hurt. I heard you didn't need to be asked twice in your day. Wine, women, and song. Am I right? I reckon you must really miss that. As far as I'm concerned, there's nothing better than getting a skinful, eh?
Yes.
I knew it. I took one look at you and I said to myself, here lies a fellow who could teach me a thing or two. I bet that you know every tavern and every alehouse wench here in Kuttenberg. Your wife thinks this is all a punishment for the little pleasures that men deserve to indulge in. Right? What does she know about it? A bit of discomfort is a small price for some serious fun, right?
No. No.
But don't you worry. As soon as we get you fixed up, I bet you'll run off to the tavern to enjoy yourself again. That's all I can do. So, how'd you feel? Well, I did everything I could. I suppose this is just too much for me. But maybe it'll get better.
I think I've messed up, lol.
That's all I can do. So, how'd you feel? Well, I did everything I could. I suppose this is just too much for me. But maybe it'll get better. What the hell? That's hair. All kinds of brown. I bet it belonged to those dead girls. If this isn't proof, nothing is.
So I went to see my brother.
And?
To talk about the inheritance.
But your father's still alive, isn't he?
Aye, but he drools all over himself.
Good
and he gets
doggy.
this feeling
Good
that his
boy.
time's nearly up.
Does he get it often?
Nearly all the time.
I need to discuss that visit to the Von Grollers.
Excellent. Let's find Catherine. You can tell us everything.
I think we were right. Something seriously fishy there.
Well, don't keep us in suspense. What did you find out?
You found something there, didn't you? Evidence?
I certainly did. In the young lord's room.
What was it?
This. He had it in a chest in his room. Locks of hair. All brown, but all a bit different. They're definitely from those murdered girls.
Hair? But that's not enough. That definitely won't suffice as proof.
Why wouldn't it? He took them as a keepsake from the dead girls, as a trophy. It was him!
But nobody will believe us. We need more than just hair. A bloody dress or the murder weapon.
And to be honest, I don't think we're going to find anything like that. They're pretty careful to cover their tracks.
Damn it. We're fucked. If we at least had a witness.
And what about 3 witnesses at once?
Where are you going to find 3 witnesses when you don't even have one?
I don't yet, but... Look, we're almost certain young Hendel did it. So what if we set a trap and catch him in the act?
And how do you want to do that? I mean, we don't know who he's planning to murder next.
We'll set someone up. Some brunette.
You want to sacrifice some poor girl?
No, nobody's gonna get hurt. We'll be keeping our eye on her the whole time.
The only one I can think of is Stanya. And I highly doubt that she'd want to risk her life again.
She won't have to. I'll do it.
But you haven't had anything to do with him. He'll see through it immediately. It'll fail.
We'll wait until the lad's out of the house. Maybe we'll dress Catherine up a bit, and she'll go asking for the young lord, father of her child. When Hendel comes home and hears what happened, he'll come looking for her to fix things up.
I'll cause such a scene, they'll be talking about it for years. Then we'll tell them where he can find me, and we've got him.
If you say so. But where can we do it? We can't do it here. They'd figure it out pretty quick.
We can use one of the rooms here in the tavern. It has only one way out. You'll be hiding across the way, and jump out at the right moment. I repeat, at the right moment.
Don't worry, we won't take our eyes off you.
Where's Hendel? I need to talk to him! Do you hear me? I have to talk to him about our wedding. I won't be left alone with his child.
What are you screeching about, you ninny? There's no Hendel here. Certainly not for the likes of you.
Do you hear that, folks? He fucks me from all sides. Gets me with child, and now he doesn't want to know me. Get rid of her. Disgrace. Oh, so a poor woman has to suffer because of a man's lust. As if it wasn't already bad enough before.
What lies are you spouting, you strumpet? Goodman Hendel never laid eyes on you. Besides, you're too old for him. Nobody will believe your lies.
Old am I? He came to me himself because he wanted a mature woman to breed with. And he never even pulled it out. And he filled me up like a wineskin. Suit yourself. I'll give you some time to think it over. But either you come up with an offer of marriage by evening, or first thing in the morning I'll go to the bailiff. And I'll be damn sure to get justice from him.
Case open.
I've come to talk with you.
Where's Hendel?
Hendel? You wanton whore! Debauching my son! A nanny goat like you! The others were at least young, but you! Christ, the trials I have to endure! A husband with both feet in the grave and a son who'll fuck anything with a hole in it. Slice her up so no one will recognize her, and in case what she says is true, gut her too.
Gutting, is it? I could help you with that.
Get that bitch, you fool!
Catherine, wait!
What should I wait for? I'm gonna cut that bitch's throat.
How dare you? Hands off, you heretical scum!
Shut up!
Let her speak. I still don't understand what actually went on here. I have some questions for you.
I'll tell you nothing, you serpent! Nothing! You can't keep me here! Let me go! I'm a woman of worth!
If you won't speak now, then the executioner will loosen your tongue when your feet start burning. But why wait, right? I'll cut your ear off. Maybe both of them. All you need to talk is a tongue.
No! Let me go!
Why did you do it, for Christ's sake?
Don't blaspheme, you heathen.
Come on, answer him or it's gonna hurt.
My husband, he drank a lot, ran around with whores and didn't pray enough. And God punished him for it. I couldn't allow the same thing to happen to Hendel.
And why kill those girls? Why not just talk to him about it?
I tried, but he wouldn't listen to me. He told me he wanted to sow his wild oats before finding a wife.
So your own son didn't listen to you? And you started killing the girls
who seduced him and emboldened him with their brazenness? If they wanted to whore themselves out, they'll pay for it in hell. But there's no way they were going to drag my Hendel there with them.
And what about Hendel? Did he know what you were doing?
That I was taking care of his immortal soul and eliminating his temptation? Of course not. But one day he'll be grateful to me for it.
He's going to jump for joy. His mother a mad woman, and his servant a murderer.
Speak politely to me, you whore.
Henry, if you have any more questions, you'd better ask them quickly. I'm sorely tempted to finish this here and now.
And what about the hair in Hendel's chest? You're trying to tell me he wasn't involved, but he was keeping their hair?
Well, he kept asking about those whores of his. So we always brought him a lock of hair. We told him it was from them, as a parting gift.
Well, he didn't find that strange?
Out of sight, out of mind. He always found some new harlot anyway.
There was no blood where Alice was found. Where did you kill them?
That was up to Thaddeus. He told me something about an abandoned barn. I only told him to cut them up thoroughly.
Why?
Why? As a warning. So those whores knew what awaited them. To put the fear of God in them.
Do you realize you also killed girls who had nothing to do with Hendel?
That's not possible. I saw them all with my own 2 eyes, chatting with him and giggling.
And what about that alehouse wench?
That strumpet. I saw how she treated him. It's a damned shame she got away.
But she really had nothing to do with Hendel.
She wouldn't have smiled at him the way she did if she didn't want to fornicate with him. They all deserved it.
Every single one. And better sooner than later. That trollop in our service even got herself with child. And she wanted to keep it. The slut.
And what about Zdenna? All she did was rob him, and you killed her anyway.
She fawned over him like all the others. He even gave her a ring, which she probably sold immediately. She deserved it. She was a thief, and stealing is a mortal sin.
I'd better stop asking questions.
Burn in hell, all of you.
What'll we do with her now?
Let's take her to the bailiff. She'll get justice there.
We don't have to go anywhere. I'll give her justice right here, right now.
But we can't do that. She has to go before the court. The law must be upheld.
Did you hear her? I mean, she hasn't got her head on straight. And what judgment will there be? She's from a wealthy family. Nothing will happen to her.
Don't you dare judge me. Only God can do that.
Shut your mouth, you sow. You judged and punished some random girls, and now you'll blaspheme like that?
Our Lord directed me. I did it through His will.
Do you hear that? And you want to let her live?
But that's not justice. It's murder. Henry, won't you say something?
I told you, don't you dare judge me. I am a servant of God.
Put away that knife, Catherine. We'll hand her over to the law.
Don't tell me you'd let her get away with it.
She's not going to get away with anything. She killed so many people. If she's lucky, they'll just hang her. If not, she'll be buried alive.
That's right. We caught her in the act, and she's confessed to us. They can't just let her go.
Of course they can. It's I scratch your back, you scratch mine. You'll see that all these rich burgher and lords have their own justice.
That won't happen. I guarantee you she...
You can't guarantee a thing. You're not the bailiff and you won't be judging her.
She's right, though. We can't just let her out into the streets. She must be punished. And if not, then you can always go and pay her a visit, right? You know very well who she is.
All right then, you last of the righteous. Take that viper away and may God protect you if they set her free.
Don't worry. I'll take her away.
Well, this was a lot stranger than I expected. Do you think we did the right thing?
I'm not sure of anything anymore. Not even myself. Can we just be quiet for a while?
As you wish. But still, it was damned odd.
Aye, that it was. Let's go and see Lumia. I wonder how he fared.
Tell us, Lumir. How did it turn out?
Did it end well? Oh, we're not going to get into trouble now, are we?
It ended well, and I didn't even tell anyone about you.
And how did it go? Did she try to blame it all on her dead servant?
Not at all. She started screaming how she hadn't done anything wrong. That those Czech whores deserved it.
Fucking shameless bitch. The nerve.
I think it's more likely she's gone mad from it all. No sane person would consider that a defense of their actions.
A sane person doesn't kill random women walking by.
Exactly. And what do they plan to do with her?
They're discussing it, and will surely continue to do so. Maybe they'll execute her, but more likely they'll lock her up somewhere and let her fester.
I told you so!
She won't escape punishment, and won't hurt anyone else again. Maybe she'll live, but now they can't pretend nothing happened.
And what will you do now? Will you go back to the town hall, Lumir?
It's true I've made amends in the eyes of the law, but I probably won't go back now. Maybe better to write something about it. Who knows?
Won't you go back to drinking?
No, it didn't help anything, did it? If I had just persevered instead, I might have... I should have pitied those girls, and not myself.
Don't fret. It was a terrible mess, and all three of us had to put our heads together.
Yes. You helped me when I was in need, and didn't even know it. Maybe I'll just keep helping as long as I can.
Helping others is the best thing a person can do in this world.
And what will you do, Catherine? Will you stay here?
My work isn't done yet. I have to work in the tavern here, and then we'll see. Maybe I'll find work elsewhere.
Do you think we could have done better?
Everything can always be done better. But most important is to do it well and quickly.
Catherine is right. I'll still be kicking myself. Maybe to my dying day. But none of us did anything bad.
That's not entirely true.
I'm talking about innocent people. No more girls died because of you. And that's good.
Well, let's go our separate ways.
Thank you, lad. You prevented future murders. And you also saved me. And for that, I will be eternally grateful.
I thank you both. Without you, the devil knows how it would have turned out.
Here you are, as a keepsake. And perhaps as a reward. And if you ever pass by, look us up.
Yes, here is a reward, Henry. And Lumiere, we shall certainly meet again.
Quick! Ja! Go! Go! you yanking? Everyone here! We've got a pest here! Where are you, fucker? Come out! Show yourself! When I find you, I'll rip you to shreds!
The best of us always go first.
I'll miss you, my friend.
Are you yanking my pizzle? Why do we even do this?
Okay, this is where I'll be ending the stream and we'll pick this all up again tomorrow. I would thank everyone for stopping by saying hi or just to chill and lurk. Thank you, and goodbye.